Okay, we'll start lying on our backs in Shavasana. Let the body respond to gravity. Notice the curves of your spine, where it meets the floor and where it doesn't. Sense the weight of your pelvis. And let your awareness track down your legs to notice how the knees are angled, how the feet are angled, which parts of each calf rest on the floor. One foot probably turning out more than the other. Notice if that gives you a sense that one side of the pelvis is more rooted or a little lower than the other side. And sensing how the flesh of your legs kind of hangs off the bones. Noticing, of course, the upper body as well, the torso, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, the head. And getting a kind of broader or more subtle feel for your current experience mentally, emotionally, energetically. Feeling your breath. And begin our movement inquiry. You could take arms out to a T if you like, and let's plant left foot on the ground. Maybe at least left arm at the T. For the unwinding movement, rocking to the inner edge of the foot, pushing inner arch, inner edge of the foot into the ground to reach the knee over toward the right foot, and then bringing the leg back to vertical. Left shoulder stays down. Actively lift the outer edge of the foot, but keep the inner edge of the foot pushing into the ground. So we get a little ankle work if we can kind of flex the outer edge of the foot away from the floor. Reach the knee away from you, invite the left hip to rise, and ask the left glute to engage to help the movement. Going slow, countering our societal pace by going slow and really attuning to the subtleties rather than just kind of blazing through them. A couple more times on this side. And then at the end of that one, whatever it is for you, you can slide the left leg straight, plant the right foot, take the right arm out to a T if it isn't already. Rocking to the inner edge of the right foot, knee going toward the left foot, so more of a diagonal rather than straight across. Flowing in and out in a slow and easy way. Right shoulder stays down. Actively lift the outer edge of the foot away from the ground and push the inner edge of the foot into the ground. So squeezing right buttock. To open up the front of the hip and to support the back, really. At the end of this one, whatever it is for you, we'll pause here with the right foot still planted. And we're going to bring the left leg up to about mid-height. So the thighs are about parallel. Externally rotate the left leg so the inner thigh rotates outward. The toes will turn out, the foot will turn out as a result. The foot is relaxed here. You don't need to flex or engage at all. And then we slowly lower the leg down. This one's really slow, or much slower than we've even been moving in this class. So this is a release for the psoas, connects from the femur, the thigh bone, all the way up to the spine. So if you have any kind of sense of where that lies in the body, or you can get some kind of visual, imagining it lengthening. Whenever the leg gets down, just take a moment to really let it go. And feel your breath. And then we'll go a couple more times here. The leg about mid-height, foot's relaxed, thighs externally rotated. If you were waiting for me to finish that first one, try to go a bit slower this time. Hands are relaxed, face is relaxed. Pelvis can stay neutral here. If you feel like you need extra support, I suggest rather than pressing the low back into the floor, try engaging the abdominals. So the abdominals draw toward the back, but you still have a little tiny space between lower spine and the floor. And you can also explore engaging mula bandha, so drawing in and up with the pelvic floor. Your pace may be different than mine. Of course, that's fine. Once the leg is down, don't be in a hurry to bring it back up. We're going to do one more time. So we do 3 times on each leg. So just take a breath here. Take a beat to just be and feel. And when you're ready, last time on this side. Really noticing what you're feeling. One sensation might be the most prominent, so you can kind of like look around the body and see what else is happening. Like maybe the shoulders are tensing up, or you feel a lot of work in the inner thigh, or something else. Maybe this third round feels different from the first, the legs getting fatigued. And whenever your leg comes down this time, slide the right leg out straight. Arms can be by your sides, it could be out wider if you like, but it doesn't really matter here. And notice the breath that might have shifted a little bit. There might be a big sigh. The two legs, two hips, two sides of the pelvis might feel different. And then when you're ready, left foot is planted. It's about in line with the hip. And here we go with the right side. So right leg up, thighs pretty much parallel. So about halfway-ish up. It doesn't matter too much. Just not all the way up, yeah? Turning the foot out from the inner thigh, relaxing the foot, relaxing the toes, slowly lowering. Whenever the leg gets down, pause, watching and listening inwardly. And then bring the leg up again. I've been working a lot more lately in my classes with neutral pelvis. So the pubic bone and the two frontal hip points are in the same plane. Could call it a triangle table. And that creates a little space between lower back and the floor. So we actually still have a lumbar curve. We're not eliminating that. Unless you feel like you really need to root through the lower back. Not wrong, just different. More about brain mapping. So the body finds equilibrium. It finds its more kind of natural alignment that we were born with before we started changing it. This side might feel like a totally different person. One more time. Psoas muscle shares attachment points with the diaphragm, so which is our primary breathing muscle. So really normal to have like a big sigh or change in the breath rhythm. That's it. This third time when the leg lands, slide the left leg out straight as well. Notice what you notice. And now let's plant the feet about hips width apart and interlace the hands right at the bottom of your back skull. For our spinal undulation, inhaling, find a back bend, press the arm bones into the floor. Exhale, curling up. Now maybe rooting the lower spine into the floor. So we're doing spinal extension and flexion. And spine is in extension when we're in our back bend. And when we're rounding, curling up, the spine is in flexion. We're also doing a pelvic tilt here, anterior and posterior. So when we arch the back away from the floor, that's anterior or forward tilt. And when we kind of curl the tailbone up and draw the pubic bone toward your torso, posterior tilt, pelvis tilting backward. So see if you can feel and really connect to both of those actions, maybe starting from the pelvis and letting it wave up your spine. We're also doing scapular protraction and retraction. So you might never want to hear these terms again, and that's fine, but they might be interesting. So when you're pressing the arm bones down, you can accentuate shoulder blades toward the spine, retraction. And then when you curl up, really bring the elbows together, shoulder blades move away from the spine, protraction. So a lot going on in this seemingly simple movement. And as usual, we'll adding a diagonal line, diagonal reach with the exhalation. So elbows come across the midline toward one hip. Alternating which hip you're reaching to each time you curl up. So we're adding spinal rotation. Keep the hips level, or the hips from tipping side to side. Full breath in. That gets kind of glossed over sometimes. Really bringing breath down, down, down through the torso. Coming back to symmetry now, still with this spinal undulation. So inhaling, arch the back bend, just like you have been. Exhale, bring knees and elbows in toward each other. Bring the feet back down as you find the spinal extension, and then bring the knees in, feet leave the floor. Next time you curl the knees in, keep them in. So feet stay up and we go side to side. Elbows toward one hip, then the elbows toward the other hip. If you want to direct your feet toward your elbows as well, that's going to increase this side engagement. Coming back all the way back down into Shavasana. Notice the field of sensation. Let's bring the arms out to a T. Palms can be up or down. This is the one where we slide the legs into a spinal twist. The legs stay heavy, so we slide the feet along the ground to direct the knees toward one elbow, and then slide the legs out straight. Taking the knees over to the other elbow, keeping the opposite shoulder down. That's going to limit possibly your range of motion, and that's okay. What we're not doing is bringing the knees toward the chest and then dropping them over to the side. Just different approach, working with gravity, alternating, keep going. And then the next time you draw the knees in toward one elbow, you can stay right there, or you can straighten the legs, both of them, out in front of you. So knees are tucked in, and then maybe the legs straighten from there. So you could drop that other shoulder back down. If you had a belt handy and you wanted to, you could wrap the belt around both feet and hold it with the hand that's there. Some of you might be able to hold over the tops of kind of both feet with the hand that's right there, or they're not connected, that's fine too. So we're turning the belly away from the legs, opposite the legs. And it's not that the legs have to be bent or completely straight. Of course, they could be partially bent. And then just bend the bottom leg, and you can keep that connection with the top foot if you want, or you could slide a block under the top foot. Particularly if you have any kind of SI imbalance, don't bring the foot all the way down. I mean, the bottom thigh might prohibit that anyway, but keeping that top leg parallel to the floor. Bend the knee, so both knees are bent. Slide the feet down to straighten the legs. That's it. And then we take it over to the other side. Knees toward the elbow. You could simply stay here. We don't need to chase sensation. Or if it feels right, straightening the legs, straightering the legs, maybe connecting with belt or hand. And then there can be this kind of opposition. So the feet push into the belt or the hand, and the belt resists back. So we're working with gravity, but there can still be this element of engagement, activity. Turning the belly away from the legs. And if it's, you can keep the top leg outstretched and just bend the bottom leg. Bend the knee so both legs are bent. Slide the legs out straight. Bring your arms back down by your sides into Shavasana. Okay, we're going to do just one side lying pose, Anantasana. You probably want your belt for this one. So lying on your side, you pick which side. And I encourage you to use the back edge of your mat. So sacrum and the back of your head align with the back edge of the mat. So we're not hinging at the hips at all. And you can have your bottom arm straight or bent. You could even prop up onto your hand if you want. Actually, let's all just, at least for a moment, prop up onto the hands. The elbow is bent, upper arm is down. And kind of lift your ribs, those bottom side ribs, and bring them more up toward your head. So just get a little more length through that left side or this bottom side. Yeah, so we're here and we've maybe got like this little crunchiness. So we're just elongating, kind of walking the ribs away from the hip. Don't worry about it if you don't get it. Just a little bit of a lengthening for the underside. And then you can come back down however you want. Head definitely supported. And probably using your belt here. So you bring the knee in and then the leg up. Head is heavy. Try to scoot a little more to the front edge of that hip that's down. So we want to maintain that. We really want to maintain like neutral pelvis. Yeah. So if this front hip is dropping back, bring it forward. Bring the sacrum forward. Gets a little tipsy here. You could bend bottom leg if you would rather. So sacrum moving out in front of you and leg reaching back behind you. Leg is externally rotated as well. So inner thigh rotating outward. That's it. Make sure the shoulder is relatively relaxed. It's not crunched up at all. Find that push-pull, foot, hands via belt. So downside leg can help stabilize. My downside leg is active, the foot is flexed, I'm pressing it into the ground, and the glutes are turned on. Release and roll to the other side. Again, you can use the back edge of the mat. Sacrum and back skull. If your feet are out in front of you, you've got a hip hinge going on. And then let's do the same thing we did on the other side. So we just bend the elbow so the head can rest in the hand and lift this bottom side of the torso and kind of walk it a little bit more up toward the elbow and that top edge of your mat. So a little more length here. And then you can lower the head back down if you want or stay propped up. And take the belt around the foot and extend the leg up. Moving the sacrum forward, engaging the glutes will help that. Take a look, see if that top hip is dropping back. Try to bring it forward so the hips are stacked. It's not easy. Use your bottom leg to help stabilize. Externally rotate that airborne leg, inner thigh spinning outward. Leg draws back. Hip draws forward. And then slowly, gently releasing all the way onto your back again. I'm going to keep the belt handy. Just drop into Shavasana for a moment. Okay, and then we'll take the belt around both feet, Supta Dandasana. I know some of you can reach your feet, but we're not going for that. We're going for legs vertical. Legs are vertical. Pelvis is neutral, so triangle table. There's a small space between the lower spine and the floor. Drive through your heels, spread your toes. This might not be much of a stretch, that's okay. Feel, imagine, top of the femur sinking, nestling into the hip socket, like grounding the hip, the thigh into the hip and the pelvis. And then keep the legs where they are. You can just set the belt aside, but keep the legs there and monitor your ribs here. So front ribs stay down. They're not going to pop up as you bring your arms up alongside your ears. You might not get all the way down. Maybe the ribs end up popping up, right? The spine will do it if the shoulders can't. So ribs stay down, arms overhead per your capacity, and keep energy reaching through the legs up toward the ceiling and arms reaching overhead. It's kind of like down dog, yeah? So palms can be up or face each other. You can add a little rooting of the sacrum, pressing it straight down. Shoulders do rise up toward the ears because the arms are overhead. Mirror, bend your knees, bring your feet down, and bring your arms down alongside your body. Grab your belt again. If you're using it, it's going around the left foot, left leg up. You can let's straighten the right leg on the ground and check in with neutral pelvis, pubic bone, 2 hip points in the front of the body, all horizontal. And then, so the left leg is up. We're going to hold the belt with the right hand. Keep the pelvis level so the left hip stays down, and just bring the left leg a couple inches across the midline. If you feel nothing, you can bring the foot closer in, but keep the pelvis neutral. So it's not a big shift here, just a couple inches across. Be with your breath. Great. Okay, we're gonna bring the leg back to center. We still have the left leg up. We're gonna hold the belt with the left hand now. Still keep the pelvis level. Don't let the right hip pop up now as we open the left leg out to the left away from the midline. Could bring elbow down and just support your leg with your hand. You might have your right hand on the right side of the pelvis or the right thigh, just to help monitor that rooting of the right side. Yeah, you can just take a look. So as the left leg opens out to the left, we're doing what we need to do to stay centered. Bring the leg back up. We're still working with the left leg airborne here and keeping the pelvis neutral. Bring the leg straight in now, the one we usually start with. We're doing last, this drawing the leg in, but not losing that little gap between lower spine and the floor. The leg's probably not going to come in as much. Definitely not. And then option to lift your head and lift your upper back, your shoulder blades. And you get extra opportunity to see what's happening with the pubic bone. It's popping up. Of course, the bottom leg is active too. Pressing the thigh down, flexing the foot. Carefully lower the head down and lower the left leg down. Second side. Be attentive to the orientation of your pelvis, that it stays neutral as you bring the right knee in. You can take the belt around the foot if you're using it, and then extend the leg up. Make sure you have that little space between the lower spine and the floor. And then once you get set there, you can hold the belt with your opposite hand, with your left hand, and bring the leg just a couple inches across the midline. The right side of the pelvis stays down. Breath is in the foreground. Bring the leg back to center. Now we keep the left side of the pelvis down. Hand can help. I mean, it's not going to do too much, but it's a good idea. It's a little extra feedback. Right leg opening out to the right. I like to bring upper arm, the elbow down, and just hold the outer edge of my leg as it gently releases down. Breathe into the back ribs. Carefully bring the leg back up to center. Neutral pelvis. Maintaining that little lumbar curve here as you draw the leg straight in. Knee could be bent here. It's the one in this series we usually begin with. And then option to bring the head up. Peeling the upper back off the ground. You can get some deep core engagement here. Mula Bandha. See how that works for you. Bottom leg is active, reaching, rooting. Last couple breaths. Sometimes we start with the neutral pelvis, but then we get excited to bring the leg in more and we lose it. And when you're ready, slowly release the head down, release the leg. Let's drop back into Shavasana. This is the end of our floor sequence. Notice what you notice. Okay, so from here, this could be the end of your practice. You're short on time or just feel like you did enough. Could be. We're going to move on to standing asana. So take your time here, bend your knees, roll to your side. You want your mat now to be sticky again, so adjust accordingly. I'm going to start with a wide-legged forward fold with head support, Prasarita Padottanasana. So that you could use your blocks to support your head. Legs are wide. Folding forward. And we really want to make the blocks work for you. So I often see people like really rounding their spine, losing their alignment because they want to use just one block or a certain setting or get their head all the way down to the ground. Instead, prioritize a really long spine. I don't want to say flat back because the spine's not flat, but generally, but you get the idea. So head supported, and then let's stretch arms forward. So they're in this down dog shape. Back of the neck is long. Be sure the chin is kind of tucked. Hands shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit wider. You could be up on tippy fingers if you want. The knees could be bent. Working to create a line of energy and an actual line from the back of the sacrum, to the back of your skull. And on through all the way to your hands. And let's not hammock or drape here. I used to teach that quite a bit, but these days I'm more about drawing the front ribs toward the back. And you can kind of push the floor away or lift up out of the shoulders rather than sinking into them. So there's some protraction happening with your shoulder blades. And once you feel like enough honing of the alignment, just stay, breathe, and feel. A few more breaths. From here, we'll walk the hands back. So they're about shoulder width apart, beneath the shoulders. Use a block under your hand if you have to round your spine to get to the floor, or you just want a little extra ease and space. So we're gonna twist here. Let's start with the left hand on the left hip and the right hand pushing into the floor. They're pushing the floor away, keeping the pelvis level. Good place to block on your sacrum. Keep yourself honest here. As we twist, twisting to the left, drawing the elbow back, drawing the shoulder back. Let's use the back leg here, would be the right leg. So bend the right knee. And then slowly re-extend through the leg. Put a little more oomph into the outer edge of the foot. And keep turning through your ribs. And maybe extend the arm up. Let's keep the gaze down. Right shoulder draws down away from the ear. Unwind your spine. Placing left hand beneath the left shoulder, maybe on the block, and right hand to the right hip. This will help us twist from the center rather than from the shoulder. Push the floor away with your left hand. See what that does for the left shoulder. Start twisting. You're not going all the way right away. And then bend your left knee. Really bend into that knee. It's a slow straightening, so we're going to straighten the leg again. Root through the outer edge of the foot more. See if that can help you rotate through the ribs more. Maybe the arm comes up. Maybe the hand stays on the hip. Let's keep the gaze down for today. And be sure the left shoulder is not crowding the ear. Slowly unwind your spine. You can take the block off if you want, off the sacrum. And we're coming back into our symmetrical forward fold. You might hold outer heels, outer ankles. You might support the head again. Knees can be bent, of course. And from here, bring hands beneath the shoulders, lifting about halfway. You can either bring hands to hips and root to rise, or heel toe the feet in. So either way, we're coming all the way up to stand in Tadasana, mountain pose. Okay, we're gonna work a little bit, a couple more standing asana. So pyramid and then warrior three, just one of each. If you'd like, you would start with your blocks, top of the mat. And we'll start with the left foot forward, the right foot back, and our orientation is forward. So the back foot's turned in quite a bit. Try scissoring your hips here. So left hip drags back or draws back. Left foot can kind of drag back into the floor. Turn on, engage, right glutes. You can get that right hip going forward a little bit. Let's sweep the arms up alongside the ears. And then hinge at the hips, reaching forward. Come back up. Hands could be on the hips if that's better for you. Keep the front ribs down or in. Exhale, halfway. Front knee could be bent if that's better for you. Again. Last time here, scissoring the hips when you rise. Keeping that scissoring action as you hinge. And then hands can come down to blocks. Let's keep our line of energy from the sacrum to the back skull, at least at first. So find your hip hinge without rounding. From here, we're headed to warrior three. You can use your blocks for extra support. Balancing on the left leg, right leg parallel to the floor. Standing leg could be bent here. We want to be able to balance that block on the sacrum without it tipping off. So we dial the right hip down, or think about lifting the left hip up and check that the right toes are directed down rather than out to the side. Draw the front ribs in toward the back. Send your chest forward. Maybe stretch left arm forward alongside the ear. Maybe also right. Bring the hands back down, and then just lower the right foot next to the left and rise to stand. Great. Second side, Parsvottanasana, pyramid. Right foot is forward, left foot is back. We're oriented forward. Back toes are turned in quite a bit. Dragging the right foot back into the mat. Squeezing left glute. Hands can stay on the hips or arms are up alongside the ears. Taking a breath in here, you can really reach through the arms if they're up and confirm that scissoring action. Exhaling about halfway forward. Bend the front knee if you need to. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. One more time. Rising up. Take your time. Exhaling, fold. So as you reach forward through your chest, your hips are drawing back. And you can bring your hands to blocks. Keep the back skull in line with the sacrum, so we're not confirming forward head posture. Folding. It's all hip hinge here. Stretch the chest forward again, so the spine is parallel to the floor. Shift into your right foot. You can use your blocks, at least to develop your foundation first in warrior three. So left leg is parallel to the floor, ideally. But more important is that the pelvis is level. So you might not be able to get the leg up. That's okay. But pelvis is level. So if you were to put a block on your sacrum, you wouldn't lift the foot, lift the leg so much that the block would roll off. Can check. Good gauge is the left toes are pointing down, not out to the side. Draw the front ribs toward the back body. Start to really send your chest more forward if you can. And then maybe extending right arm alongside the ear. Could bend right knee. That can help with balance. Maybe extending left arm also. Really reach through the arms if they're extended, through the leg for sure. And then bring your hands down. This time we're gonna go back to down dog. So you can reach that left foot back to land, plant your hands, and then step the right foot back. Bending the knees, really helpful here to elongate the spine. Okay, let's lower the knees down. We're coming to a seat, maybe a half hero seat. Yeah, so I'll give you, of course, options. We'll start with left leg in Virasana and right foot planted. If that doesn't work for you, you can have left leg in this kind of butterfly shape and right foot planted. But let's be sure the pelvis is level. So elevate so you're not tipped off to one side. We want both sitting bones grounded. We're sitting up tall. You can stay right here, or we're going to add a twist. So if, like me, you're sitting up on something, you're probably going to want a block behind you to bring the floor to meet you. Okay, so whatever foot is planted, whatever knee is up, we're going to twist in that direction. Yeah. So planted foot can press down a little bit, like you're going to stand up on it. Keep the pelvis directed forward, turning through the ribs. Go easy with the neck. Consider just aligning your nose with your sternum. And then unwind your spine. So whatever foot is planted, whatever knee is pointing up, we're going to take that leg into Crouch Asana or Heron pose. So you might want to use your belt for this. We're gonna lean back a little bit so we can get a grip on the foot or get the belt around the foot, and then lean back and bring the foot off the ground and try bringing the leg out in front of you. Knee can stay bent here, chest rising. Resist a little bit with your hands. So you could, if you've got hands or belt around the toe mound, you can push into the belt or hands and resist back. That's it, really securing the shoulder blades down the back. And then maybe twisting again. We're going to twist in the same direction. So you would hold the opposite hand. So if right leg is up, you're holding with left hand and twisting to the right, twisting toward that airborne leg. Using the hands that's on the ground or a block to help you lift up out of the pelvis. Turning through the belly, turning through the ribs. And then carefully unwind and ease the leg down. Let's switch sides. Okay, so one leg is in Hero Virasana or this Baddha Konasana shape. The other foot is planted. And find the right amount of support so the hips are level. Might be different on this side. Okay, and then we're twisting toward this leg that we planted the foot on. Sitting up really tall, press that foot down into the ground. Turn to the belly and the ribs. And maybe kind of back off on the neck so the nose is in line with the sternum. So the head's really just following rather than leading. Unwind your spine. Okay, you can take either the belt around the feet or get a grip on your foot, both hands. Or crouch asana, heron pose. Tip back a little bit. Extend the leg out in front. Go on lifting up the chest. Keeping your lumbar curve. Drawing the shoulders down the back. Push the toe mounds into your hand or your belt and resist back. And now holding the belt or your foot with the opposite hand of that aerial leg. Bringing other hand down to the ground or a block to help give you lift rather than taking the weight. We're twisting toward that straighter airborne leg. Breathe into the back ribs. And then gently unwind, ease the leg down, and let's just touch into Dandasana, both legs out in front. If you have trouble getting neutral pelvis here, definitely want to sit up on the edge of something. We're going to take a few variations of Janu Shirshasana. So we'll bring that left heel all the way in as much as you can to the left, to the groin, right into the midline if you're able to. And then we're going to turn toward the left knee, turn toward the bent knee and fold forward. Don't let this right sitting bone pop up like, oh, I can go so far, but I completely lost the right side of my body. So we're keeping energy and rooting through the right leg and folding a little bit over the left knee. This is feeling awesome. You can stay right here, or we come up and orient between the legs and then fold again. Still keeping that right sitting bone down. Press both thighs down. Even press lower left leg down. You can stay here or more over the left leg, or we rise up or in over the straight leg and fold over the leg. So we're folding over right leg now. Keep pressing left leg down. From the foot all the way to the knee. Rising up. Straighten left leg out in front of you. Bringing right heel into the midline. If it's better for your knee, the foot can be more directed to the inner thigh. Sitting up tall, turning to face the right knee, the bent knee. Keep the left side down. And lengthen over the right leg. Might not get very far with that left side rooting. You can stay right here or gently rise up, orient between the legs and fold forward. Keep rooting both sitting bones, both legs, right lower leg. Stay here or over the right knee or rise up, turning through your torso to face the left leg, the straight leg, folding over that leg. Now we really want to work to keep the right hip, right side of the pelvis, right leg down. Gently rise up. Extend both legs out in front of you. And then plant both feet kind of far away from you. We're headed for Navasana, boat pose. We'll take hold of the thighs, lift the chest. Try drawing the abdominals toward your back. Doesn't mean you round the back, just from the front inward. You can add Mula Bandha, root seal, see how that feels. And then tip back a little bit to hover the feet. The back skull is in line with the sacrum. Chest is really lifted. Maybe bringing the shins parallel. Maybe extending the arms. You could bring hands behind the head as a variation. Elbows wide. So we're pressing the head into the hands a little bit. Maybe straighten the legs. And see if you can lower the legs with control, rising up to Dandasana. Arms up alongside the ears, feet could be wider, and folding forward. So Paschimottanasana. Chest stays open, chest stays lifted. Rising up. We want more of a balanced shape here. So we'll bend the knees, the toes up and the heels down. You can take a belt around the feet, or you can hold the big toes or the outer edges of the feet. Probably good to bring the heels in close. So we're getting a lot of this hip flexion here, lifting the chest up. Tipping back to hover your feet. Maybe extending your legs up. Keep drawing the shoulder blades down the back. Maybe open the legs out wide. Imagine you've got that hand at the back of your head again. So a little chin tuck, a little head back. And then rewind. If the legs went wide, bring them back together. You can bring the knees to bend, bring the feet back down with control, and then re-extend the legs. If you do shoulder stand and plow, you're welcome to set up for that. Alternatively, legs up the wall or supported bridge with legs up. Okay, so if you do shoulder stand and plow and you would like to today, I would grab blankets. You can place the blankets even if you're doing supported bridge. It might be a nice variation. So we're potentially going to work a couple of those wide-legged options, variations, whether you're in legs up the wall, shoulder stand, plow, or supported bridge. Okay, I don't usually show shoulder stand much, so I'll show that today. So we're using the blankets. They're underneath the upper back and the very bottom of your cervical or neck vertebrae. The head is not on the blankets. Okay, for supported bridge, feet would be planted. You slide the block underneath your sacrum and then bring the legs up to vertical. Legs up the wall, pelvis is down, legs are up. Okay, so for Halasana, plow pose, bringing the legs overhead, bringing the feet down, tucking the elbows in. I want upper arm bones parallel. Okay, so from here you could keep your support on the lower back or hips and take the legs out wide and plow. If you're in legs up the wall and you have room for it, you could take legs out wide there. Or if legs are up in the air and bridge, you could open the legs wide there. If you're in plow, the toes tucked, push through the heels, and also keep pressing the forearms down or the upper arms down. You don't want to feel a ton of sensation in the neck. So if you do, you need more blankets. Energy through the legs, even if the feet are In the air, you can stretch and push through the heels. And then if you're in Halasana, plow pose, you can come to Sarvangasana or shoulder stand, legs up, driving the elbows down, and then maybe opening the legs out wide again. One last plow variation. It'll be legs wide, feet on the ground, holding, really holding the toes. So it's more hands on the ground. Resist the pushing of your feet with the pulling of your hands. If you're in Halasana, the legs wide, you can bring them back together. You can keep arms overhead so you can control your descent down. Or if you tend to thump, have your hands on your hips so you can ease down without thumping, without a big bang plop. And if you're in legs up the wall or in supported bridge, you can start to bring feet back down, bend the knees, roll to your side. And we're all coming now into Shavasana. If there's any last movement, stretch, shape that your body is asking you for, give it that. Maybe it's a little fish or a little head nod. Settling into rest. Come back into the river of breath. Feel all the places that your body meets the floor. And if you feel ready, take your time, moving gently, rise up to a seat. Okay, we're going to bring the hands into Mira Mudra. So we'll bring all the pinky and thumb tips together. All pinky and thumb tips together. And then ring tips to each other. So the index and the middle fingers are free of the other fingers. Yeah. And then I'm just going to bring it down to rest in the lap. This is a mudra for nourishment and serenity. Just let your shoulders drop. Maybe it feels silly. Maybe you feel some kind of energetic hookup. The affirmation you might like to repeat with me that would kind of bolster or confirm the mudra. My natural breath flows in calm and nourishing waves. My natural breath flows in calm and nourishing waves. One more time. My natural breath flows in calm and nourishing waves. When you're ready, you can bring hands, palms together at heart center. Feeling, cultivating gratitude for each breath and for all the nourishment we receive from the earth that sustains us in our lives. And recognizing that we are pure energy. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace. Thank you. Namaste.